Hi guys, it's Kristjan here talking to you from the beautiful south coast of England. Since I'm coming up to London to do some meetings with you, I thought it would be interesting to sharpen the saw a little bit when it comes to inviting people to meetings. Well, I'm not talking about inviting people for a galvanic demo, either with the new body galvanic or the facial galvanic that we all know and love, or for a special harmonic session or a scanner session. That is something that you could do a little different way. What I would like to talk to you today is about how to invite for a business presentation. In the Fast Start booklet that you should all have and be reading through, it's a fantastic manual. It's not a big manual on how to do our business, because that's an easy part in that sense. But on page 13 we go through invitation, and there's some really good sentences here on breaking the ice on how to talk to people. You can also find some more scripts on the internet. If you go to our website oggwesteurope.eu, there are some more great ice-breaking sentences or scripts that you can go through there. I personally love to invite people to meetings, and that's one of the fun part in this business, is to invite people. The more people you invite, the bigger your business is going to get. So make sure you get this invitation right. Before you can go and start to invite, you need to have your body and your spirit in the right mood. When I started this business, I personally got myself into the right mood when you make this invitation phone calls or things like that. You might not be up for it here and now to do some invitation phone calls, so you need to get your mind and body into the right atmosphere, or the right state of mind, as you can say it. I personally, when I was starting, I put on a piece of music, something that popped up my body and got myself excited, and I listened to that for 2 to 3 minutes. I really, danced with it. I got myself excited about the whole thing. So I got my energy levels high in my body. Then I stood in front of a mirror, and make sure when you do this phone call, especially in the beginning, that you stand up so you get the whole power through the whole body into the phone call. And I was standing in front of a mirror. On that mirror I had a smiley face, and underneath the smiley face it said, "Kristjan, remember to smile." So when I picked up the phone, I was talking to people, I was looking into the mirror and smiling like this. And I know it looks silly when you look at yourself in the mirror and smiling like like that, but I tell you, it really helps, because the tonality in your voice changes when you're smiling, and people on the other line, on the other end of the line, can hear that you are in a happy mode and you are excited about what you want to talk to them about. So preparation for that is very important. Have some music playing, get yourself into the right gear, look into the mirror, smile, and remember to have fun when you do this. When I invite people, I take it into 6 different steps, and I would like to run through these steps with you a little quickly and go through each of them. First of all, when I call somebody, the first thing I will ask people, did I catch you at the right time? So that's point number 1, if you like to say so. I call somebody, "Hey Paul, it's Kristjan here, did I catch you at the right time?" If the answer to that is no, you didn't catch me at a good time now, I will then immediately say, "Okay, shall I call you back in 15 or 20 minutes? Why is it important to have urgency in it, 15 or 20 minutes? Well, that's to show Paul that I'm excited about what I'm doing, and also to have urgency in the phone call, though, there's something exciting that I want to tell him. So when can I call you? I have to call you straight away, 15 or 20 minutes. If Paul, for example, says, "Yeah, you catch me in a good time," then I move straight into point number 2, and I would like to ask Paul, what's up with you and your family, how's it going at the work, how's your new car or the house or whatever. Let him talk about himself for about 30 seconds, not much more than that, because nobody likes to talk about themselves more than themselves. People love to talk about themselves, and when you talk about when people talk about themselves, they get them into a happy mode. So you are sort of preparing Paul, in this case, to get into a happier state of mind when you're talking to him. But like I said, you don't want to have that long. You don't want to listen to Paul go on and on about his full life. You want to, like I said, have it like 30 seconds. Because an invitation phone call shouldn't take more than 3 to 5 minutes, maximum 7 minutes in my point of view. You can invite in that time frame, 3 to 5 minutes is a plenty of time to invite somebody to to go to a meeting. So when Paul starts to talk about himself and he's into that and he's telling about his job or his family or something like that, you're going to wait until Paul is sort of taking a breath, like then you jump in, with point number 3. Hey, listen, Paul, the reason I called you is because, and there is point number 3. You wanna give Paul compliments. You want to compliment Paul on something, either that he's a great people person, he's a great organizer, he's always in a happy mode, something that would compliment Paul. And I also I will say, the icebreaking sentence is like, listen, Paul, the reason I called you is because you're great with organizing things, or the reason I called you is because you are always in a happy mode, or the reason I called you, Paul, is because you're great with working with people. And then I will go into the icebreaking sentence and say, I just started this new adventure and I'm looking for 3 to 5 key people to expand my business in your area. Maybe you, Paul, know of somebody, or you'll be interested yourself to have a look at it. So I won't go into details here, in point number 3 is just like the reason I called you, and give them a compliment. So I love this, I'm looking for 3 to 5 or 4 to 5 or whatever you like to say, key people to expand in your area. My business is growing quite well, it's growing quite fast, and I'm looking for 3 to 5 key people to expand my business. What is important is to have, that's now coming to point number 4, is to have self-control. Do not tell everything in the invitation phone call. You want to be sort of the trailer, not the whole movie. You just want to give a small trailer so people say, wow, I want to see that movie, I want to know more, I would like to know more about what you're talking about. So make sure that you are only giving little pieces of information that get people excited enough to come to the meeting. Don't give the full spiel over the phone call, it's impossible. So when you're in point number 4, you want to have self-control, and you want to answer a question with the question. So for example, let's say that if Paul asked you, oh, do I need to sell something? Do you like selling? No, I don't like selling. Perfect, then it's for you. Or if we could say, do I have to sell something? Do you like selling? Yeah, I love selling. Perfect, then it's for you, because it can be both ways in that sense. And you want to answer a question with a question. How much does it cost to invest in this, if you get that kind of question? Well, are you looking for an investment opportunity? No, I'm not. Perfect, then it's for you, because we're not talking about a big investment. Does it take a lot of time? Do you have a lot of time on your hands, Paul? No, I'm very busy. Perfect, that's the reason why we need to meet and go over these things. So it is important to answer a question with the question all the time, and have self-control. Don't tell people about it. If people might ask you, what's the name of the company? I don't give out the name. I'll say, Paul, that doesn't matter at this point in this phone call. What matters is that we need to meet and go over these things. Or, Paul, that's not important at this point of time, what the name of the company is. And what is important is that we sit down and go over these things, and I'll explain to you in details what it's all about. He might drill you and go with further questions and ask you more questions that you have difficulty to answer. What I often use, and I love that, is to, if people are asking me a different question, I would say to them, listen, do you know what a puzzle is? Piece of puzzle, where you have a beautiful picture and you have to put it together with all these little pieces of puzzle. And they go, yeah, of course I know what that is. Well, imagine, Paul, that I have a big puzzle here in front of me, and it is 1,000 little pieces. To put it together, we will have a beautiful picture. In this phone call, Paul, I could maybe give you an idea of 2 or 3 of these pieces through the phone call, so you'll never get the full picture. It wouldn't be right of me to explain that in a phone call, because you wouldn't get the full picture, you see. So, Paul, we need to meet. So I will then jump into point number 5. And point number 5 is where you are sort of closing the invitation phone call. You're giving 2 options. It's always important to give 2 options. So let's say I'm calling Paul, and today is a Monday, and I say to Paul, could you meet me Wednesday or Thursday? And if I would only ask, Paul, can you meet me Wednesday? He will then might be, look in his diary and say, oh, I'm very busy Wednesday. If I say Wednesday or Thursday at 8 o'clock in the evening, he will then go look at what he's doing, and maybe he is busy at both times. But since I gave him two choices, he most likely will take one of the choices. So it's very important when you are inviting somebody to give two choices. For example, could you meet me at Wednesday at 8 o'clock? Or Thursday at noon, or something like that, to give two choices so people have to choose between them. If I only give one, it's so easy for people to say, oh no, I'm busy, I can't make it that time, or something like that. So as well, in point number 5, when you're doing the closing, when I, for example, do that, let's say I'm talking to Paul here and say, Paul, could you meet me Wednesday at 8 o'clock or Thursday at noon? He will say, Wednesday at 8 o'clock is better for me. What I will then say, can I trust that you will be there, Paul? And if you ask that question, can I trust that you will be there? He will then have to say, yes or no to that. And if he's like a little bit doubting that, I'm not 100% sure, then you have to go and find the time that Paul can trust that he will be there. Another thing I will say when I do this, I will say to Paul, Paul, can I trust that you'll be there? Yes, I can. Okay, perfect. Can you make sure you write this into your diary? Because I don't want to waste your time, so please do not waste mine either. Please take down my mobile number. My mobile number is blah, 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 blah. Write it down. Give me a call at least about 2 to 3 hours prior to the meeting. If something comes up and you can't make it last minute, Paul, let me know. And then I will, of course, confirm the meeting time and place and make sure he writes it down. So these are the 5 points, and there is one more, point number 6, but let's go through the 5 points again. Number 1, did I catch you at the right time? Number 2, a short sort of 30 seconds, what's up or what's happening in your life, so let them talk about themselves for 30 seconds. Number 3, the reason I called you, and there you wanna give the person a compliment. Number 4 is to have self-control, answer a question with a question. And number 5 is to do the closing, give 2 options on meeting times, ask if they can trust the person that will be there, make sure they have your phone number so they can give you a call if something comes up, and all that. So if you go through these points, you will have a successful invitation in that sense. But what is also important is point number 6. And that is the follow-up to an invitation. So let's say now it's a Monday, I call somebody, I confirmed a meeting with Paul on Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the evening. And now it's Wednesday already, and I will follow up on Paul. What I will do, I will call Paul up about 3 to 4 hours prior to the meeting, and I'll say to Paul, hey Paul, did I say 8 or 8:30 with the meeting tonight? And he's going to go say, oh, Kristjan, you said 8 o'clock. Oh, perfect. Let's see you there. Boom. I won't call him up and say, hey, Paul, I remember the meeting, or are we on tonight, or something like that. I will say it in a way that it doesn't sort of affect the trust between us. So I can do it in a way like, did I say 8 or 8:30? I know it might sound a little silly, but believe me, it really works when you do this to follow up on people. If for some reason, when you call Paul and say, did I say 8 or 8:30? He says, sorry Kristjan, I forgot, there's a parent meeting coming up at school, I have to go there with my kids, or something like that. And you say, no problem at all, go straight to point number 5, find 2 options, again, rebook the meeting, and make sure it's gonna, get it in both of your diaries too. You can rebook the meeting. Again, you follow up for that. You give the person a call. Let's say you call Paul again, and you ask him again about, did I say 12 or 12:30? And he says, I forgot. Again, I personally do this. I will rebook the meeting again. Point number 5, give 2 options, all these kind of things. And the 3rd time I call Paul and say, did I say 1 or 1:30? He will then say, he forgot or something like that. I will say, obviously Paul, this is not for you. Let's just leave it for now. Obviously you're not serious about looking into this business, and I will then skip and put him on my 2-month calendar to give him a call in 2 months or something like that. Then just forget about them. Next, call somebody else. Well, this is sort of how I look at the invitation. Make sure you prepare yourself, get in the right mood, dance to great music, listen to some great music that will get your energy flow in the body. Make sure you're standing, smiling when you do the phone calls. Go through the 5 points and have some fun, guys. I'm looking forward to meeting you in London. We're going to have so much fun together. We're going to grow this business to higher plans. Let's take it all the way. Take care. Bye-bye.